Thank you so much for staying here to hear more about Brain4Care. And I'm the president from the company here in North America and how we are already empowering brain monitoring. So the way we are empowering brain monitoring is by addressing maybe one of the most significant gaps in brain monitoring, which is millions of people should be already been monitoring today, and they are not. And they are not monitoring the ICUs or ERs or even at home. They are not monitoring the intracranial pressure. So, and it's very important because the elevation of the ICP that causes intracranial hypertension, depending on the time you're exposed to the intracranial hypertension, you start suffering neurological deterioration. So why is this gap of billions of people not being monitoring happening? Is because even 50 years of the appearance of the ICP monitoring, it is still invasive. So if you suffer from an elevation of intracranial pressure, you have to drill a hole in your skull and put a catheter. 85% of the people on the planet don't even have access to that. So we are talking about a huge social and impact that technology can help in this problem. And just to give you here an idea, so you all know this here, right? The arterial blood pressure monitor. 300 million units sold every year. And I guess you don't know that everything that we know about arterial blood pressure does not apply from the neck up. Here is completely different pressure and completely different dynamics because the blood has to balance with the brain and CSF on a dynamic way. So investing here and having the chance to find a company that finally does what this year does in the simpler way as the IBP does for intracranial pressure will unlock a huge market. So you don't need to imagine that anymore. This is why we are here. This is the first FDA 510(k) clear non-invasive technology to monitor intracranial pressure dynamics. Tested, validated, patent already in use in Brazil with more than 10,000 patients. But the most important, we are not just unlocking the invasiveness. If you see here, the discovery our founder made is because we are accessing information from the brain through a completely different way. It's not image, it's not electrical, it's skull pulsation. My skull is pulsating by every heartbeat. Your skull is pulsating right now in a heartbeat on microns. This is a nanotechnology capable sensor, traditional sensor, that is measuring our micro pulsation right now. And this pulsation is a waveform called intracranial pressure waveform. So Brain4Care exposes that on the phone, on a tablet. If you want, I can monitor you outside here. But more than that, we are the first company invested to analyze this waveform. So we have a cloud platform with algorithm deriving parameters, and the main thing that Brain4Care is doing is creating new parameters to assess the risk of intracranial hypertension. And as you can see here, we can monitor people in a clinical office or wherever you want. We are very happy with the IP protection. We just got China 2 weeks ago. We got India last week. We are covering already 85% of the territory worldwide with our IP protection on skull pulsation. We have skull pulsation for more than 20 years covered, and a very attractive business model. So very cost effective. It's going to be a subscription model to our platform, a fixed price per month, no disposable. It's reusable, you just have to clean and use it again. That brings us to a very attractive gross margin of 95%. Only 33 subscriptions in the US will create an ARR of $1 million. So it's a very attractive business model. And in Brazil, where we started, where we are based, we have already more than 70 clients, both hospitals and clinics already using, and very excited with the impact. Only last year, we closed with 10,000 patients monitored, clinically speaking. This is far more than double of the invasive technology does in Brazil. Just for you to have an idea, I forgot to mention, there are, on a yearly basis, 200,000 people monitor from ICP. In the US, 60,000. 5,000 per month. Only TBI in the US, 2.5 million people go to the ED to check the TBI. Because the only way is imaging or clinically speaking. So there's no data to assess if you are getting into intracranial hypertension. So non-invasive, by far, one of the most important things we are doing. But the most important from a patient point of view is this here. How does the invasive works? So you are here in your normal journey, pressure, you suffer an injury, brain tumor, hemorrhage, stroke, TBI, headache, whatever. Your pressure starts to go up. They have to wait until you get to a critical situation to consider drilling a hole in your skull and then start monitoring. So they wait too long. So you are already exposed to abnormal pressure here. They look at the millimeters of mercury, then they treat and put you down. So they don't care if you are getting very close to the hypertension for a longer period of time. What they do also, they offer the intracranial pressure waveform, what I mentioned before, for visual interpretation. So some nurses, very few, do this interpretation on the bedside. So what Brain4Care did, because we have access to this data, we analyze millions of pulses already, and we were able to, by creating a biomarker, a neuromarker called P2P1, which is the ratio of the peaks of the waveform, we are now able, with our 1.4, say you have intracranial hypertension, less than 0.9, you rule out, but most importantly, we finally can say when you are already having a likely normal waveform or potential risk of hypertension. And this will then be done on a ubiquitous way. We can be using screening and is as a trend using the patient as the baseline itself. So what does that mean? Finally, we can timely intervene before the crisis. By intervening before the crisis, what is the idea? Is that you don't get exposed for so long into a crisis. And that from a cost point of view, a patient in average in the US costs $50,000. One sensor for the whole year is $30,000. So with one patient that we avoid to get the ICU, we pay the whole sensor for the whole year, and you can monitor how many you want. As I said, we have access to the data. With all the validation we went through already, we are already, with our AI platform, generating more and more parameters. I will also be more than happy to explain what are the new parameters that we are creating. And we are the first company fully dedicated to analyze this raw diamond, which is the intracranial pressure waveform. Very science-driven. We are a spin-off from the University of São Paulo in Brazil. 88 publications already this week, I think 89 by the end of this week. Research around the world, very important KOLs, and some testimonials that proving that what we are doing is real. Our plan here, we are looking for a partner investor to accelerate our US market penetration. We have defined 3 settings: ICU first, emergency department second, and clinics the third, with specific application KOLs, and we have already 6 pilots going on. And we started already with our own sales team, a SAM of $450 million and opening a TAM of $8 billion worldwide. No competitors. The only 2 ways to get access to the ICP waveform is invasive and us. And we are raising here 10 million, and most importantly, a partner to enter the US market. We raised already 17. Use of proceeds, basically create the team, accelerate the penetration, and keep getting data and analyzing it. The idea is to get to the $4 million until the end of next year with the 10 million, which will make us eligible for the Series B and growth. So this is the plan for investment. We have here a very aligned team and experience with medical advisors or business advisor and scientific advisory committee from the US already, backed up by a strong governance in Brazil. Thanks so much. This is my email here. I'm more than happy to answer questions, and it will keep the conversation going on. Thank you.